Good morning. Good morning, everyone. What's going on? It's a Thursday, and we got the 76ers back, which is huge. We got Sixers, although it's going to be a little bit of a tease considering no stars in play, except for Tobias Harris, if you consider him a star this season because of the COVID protocol. So, unfortunately, as we've been anticipating some Sixers ball back into our lives, we will not have Ben or Joel. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming in, hanging out, and drinking your coffee with me. I'm excited. Yeah, we got a little Philly spring training action. We got a nice lineup today. Aaron Nola on the bump. You got Bryce Harper. You got Reese Hoskins. You got Kutch. You got a nice lineup today. Let's look at Jim Salisbury's tweet as he tweeted this out a little bit earlier. McCutchen, Hoskins, Harper, Bohm, Gregorius, Segura, Odubel Herrera, Andrew Knapp, and Scott Kingery with Aaron Nola on the bump. So it looks like a pretty decent lineup. Yeah, pretty excited. Finally woke up for Coffee with Brodes. Ben, come on, it's not that early. Unless you're not from the area, then we can resurface the conversation. But 9 o'clock, I mean, it's different if I had 7 a.m. coffee with Brodes or 6 a.m. coffee with Brodes. I'd imagine about 3 people would show up to a 5 a.m. coffee with Brodes. What's up, Taylor? What's going on? You get hyped for the Phillies every year. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it's a great question. I guess it's not even it's a question. Is that a good thing? I get hyped because I love baseball. I don't know if I necessarily get hyped because I think the team is going to do outrageous things. Because I think the Phillies are not a playoff team. I think they're an 85, 86 win team. So it's not as if I sit there and I'm like, here we go, Phils this year. This is going to be outstanding. I think they're going to be a fun team. I think they're going to be an enjoyable team. But I don't think they're a playoff team, quite frankly. You know, their ceiling could be second wild card squad if they're lucky. So I think it's just the sport that I get hyped for. And the Phillies are part of that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, MLB TV, my 3 TVs in my man cave. I got A's, Giants on one TV. I got Padres, Dodgers on the other. Well, I got Mets, Phils going on on the big screen. Going to the Flyers game tonight. Nice. That's exciting. Yeah, I had a couple buddies go to the first game back. Then I had a friend go to the second game against Buffalo. So I've known a couple people that have been heading down to the Wells Fargo Center, and they said it's just kind of nice to get back into things and, kind of get that feel again. Need a big win, big Sixers win tonight. Yeah, I'm with you there. I think you do need a nice – I just don't know what to expect. You had all this time off with the All-Star break, and now you don't have Ben and Joel. My gut tells me they might fall. Do we look into trading for LaMarcus Aldridge? I would. LaMarcus Aldridge is a name that absolutely tickles my fancy, just like Spencer Howard's changeup, may I add. But yeah, I would. If I were the Sixers, that is a name that intrigues me. You're looking for that type of position. You're looking for some help there. So with that being said, it's like, hey, here's a guy that has had some experience, obviously, has had some great years, obviously, and now he's on that back stretch. He's looking to go out and grab a championship ring. It could be a nice piece. It's funny. I wonder what the Nets, how quickly the Nets would have jumped on this if they didn't sign Blake Griffin. How much did the Blake Griffin signing hold them back to a LaMarcus Aldridge? And who would they rather have had? Like, to me, it's a no-brainer, right? A LaMarcus Aldridge any day of the week compared to a Blake Griffin that is an insanely different version of himself from 2 years ago. Not that LaMarcus Aldridge, by any stretch of the imagination, is some LaMarcus Aldridge of 25 years old where he's just dominating with just great post play and great jump shots. Like, man, he would have his back to the basket and pivot around, and it would just be smooth looking. I'm not saying that's the same LaMarcus Aldridge you'd have, but there's no doubt in my mind I'd rather have LaMarcus Aldridge at his age, around 35, 36, than a Blake Griffin. Let's look up his stats. Because I know, he's the situation is what it is for a reason, right? Let's not. Yeah, so he's 35. He's got 21 games played this year, plays 25 minutes a night, giving you about 14 points per game, shooting 36% from three, which his career average is 31. But when he came into the league, 14%, 25%, 17%, 18%, 14%. Clearly didn't take many. And now he's all like, this is just showing you the adapting of the league, right? When LaMarcus Aldridge came into the league in 06, 07, played 07, 08, 08, 09, 2009, 2010, he was taking 0.1 threes per game. Now, 0.1, 0.3, 0.2, 0.3. Now he's averaging 3.6 points per game. Or 3.6 3-point attempts per game, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, that's the crazy thing about it. You just see the league develop under your eyes with just one man's stat sheet. The hair today, that's from Roman. Well, I got some things I got to take care of, Rome, after coffee with Brodes. You know what I'm saying? I got some things I got to do. So you got to slick back the old lettuce. You got to have the old samurai go into its top performance. Hopefully when I go outside, I don't get like Monica from Friends in season 10 or 9, 10, I think, when they go and her hair frizzes out. Come on, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I want the Eagles to bring John Brown on as a veteran presence for the wide receivers. What would I expect from John Brown here? I don't even, dude, the Eagles are so frustrating at this point. Things are starting to intensify a bit with their conversations because of the fact that the draft is coming up in play, and what are they going to do at 6? And Jeffrey Lurie is now saying that you want to build around Jalen Hurts. But with the wide receiving core, if you go out and get a Jamar Chase, and then you have Chase, Rager, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, Greg Ward, John Hightower, I don't know. Like, I'm with you. A veteran presence wide receiver wouldn't hurt. And I think when they move under the cap, it might give them a little bit of play to go out and grab somebody, right? Like, not a highly regarded guy, but just something. I do think that that's in play. Yeah, I'm not against a veteran wide receiver, but at the same time, with the trajectory of where this franchise is, just throwing a bunch of young guys into a competition and see who comes to the top, who rises to the top, I'm also not upset about that. Are you playing 18 holes today? I wish, Carmen. I wish I was playing 18 holes today. I am not. I haven't taken out my clubs. I can see them right now in my Phillies golf bag and my beautiful Titleist just hanging out the top. It's been quite some time since I hit the link. So, Roman, if you're still in the chat here, maybe we should head out and over a business conversation or something. I could throw it on the old business card. Amazing. Brodes, can you sing some Drake? Probably not, although I just was in the shower. I'm not going to lie. I was going full on boombox. Not boombox. What am I? What is this, 1920? I went for the old, the Beats pill, if you will, and I just went jamming into the shower before I got dressed for the morning, before I made my cup of joe. I haven't heard any updates on Tiger Woods, to be honest with you, Mike. I haven't checked in on the status since probably like a couple of days now, so I don't know too much on. But in terms of returning, I mean, I would imagine that the career is probably done, would be my guess, but you never know. Can we get a live stream on the course? That'd be amazing. I wish I was going golfing. I'm really not. I'm not going golfing, but if I was, and if I ever do, because it's been a while since I got out there. It's been like a whole year, which is frustrating. Can we do like a GoPro live stream? That'd be pretty funny. Have I ever had iced coffee? Of course I've had iced coffee. By the way, this nail is just bothering the hell out of me. Of course I had iced coffee. Iced coffee for me is once in a blue moon. Everyone does it when it gets into the summertime, and then you get the iced coffee. You go to Dunkin', you wait in line. Everyone's grabbing their large iced coffees. I like it. Once in a blue moon, I'll switch it up and grab something just for a change of pace. Once in a while, it's good. I suck it down so quickly. I get that insane caffeine rush that makes me want to run through a damn wall, and I do that anyway. But add that to the mix, how fast I drink it. It's crazy because it's so damn good. But something about a nice hot cup of joe for me in the morning, it's just so much better. So 99% of the time, it's a hot cup of mud. And then if it's not hot cup of mud, then I'll once in a blue moon throw in an iced coffee. You've inspired me to love black coffee, but I can't do it. Now, Ben, I'm a little confused here because you said you've inspired me to love black coffee. So you're saying just like my love for black coffee makes you want to love black coffee that much, but you can't do it? I want you right now, Ben, to go to your coffee machine, take me with you, and I want a little play-by-play of you dumping in. Like, you got to get the right amount of coffee grounds with the right amount. Like, if you make an extra large mug, you need to make sure you have the right amount of coffee grounds in there to make sure that it's the right style of black coffee. Because if it's not enough, then it can taste like ass. Do I think the Sixers can pull out a win tonight? I do. I think they can pull out a win. I'm not going to bet on it, though. I think you're coming back. I think everything sets. Let's be realistic. Everything sets up for this to be a loss, does it not? No Ben, no Joel. Coming off the All-Star game, Doc Rivers is feeling under the weather. He didn't even speak yesterday. It was Dave Yeager that actually spoke to the media. So you didn't even have Doc Rivers available. They're saying it's not COVID-related, although we really don't have too much information. When someone doesn't feel good nowadays, of course, you automatically assume and tie it to COVID-19 stuff. Everything is setting up for this team to lose tonight. So do I think they can pull out the win? Sure. I think they can pull out the win. Do I think there's a high probability? Not really. And I wonder what let's look on the DraftKings Sportsbook line, shall we? And by the way, you can use promo code Brodes when you sign up for all these insane promotions and odds boosts on DraftKings. So the line will tell me a lot about this. So let's go to Sixers. Ooh. It's a 3-point line. 3.5-point line, excuse me. So the Bulls are favored at home by 3.5. It's a tiny line, but the fact that it's swinging in the Bulls' favor with all the circumstances, it says the Sixers can win, but that's a line that says the Sixers can still get the job done, which isn't breaking news, but it does look like you have the Chicago Bulls being the favorite squad. What's up with the conflicting reports about Lowry won't be traded? Yeah, I don't know. I saw a bunch of reports as well about Lowry staying put and all this. And look, there's a lot of rumors and a lot of drama surrounding trade deadlines, and especially a franchise guy like Kyle Lowry. He is a franchise Toronto guy. You would imagine that there would be some conflicting reports. This is how sports works, right? There's a report here, then there's a report there. Then there's a report in another spot, and there's a report in another spot. And there's so much information going back and forth, and there's so much being released. You don't really know what to take out of it. So, I don't know what to expect from Daryl Morey. I know something's going to happen. I just wonder, is it going to be something that no one has even discussed? Everyone's talked about Oladipo. Everyone's talked about Kyle Lowry. Everyone's talked about some of these names, and maybe the Daryl Morey effect is going out and grabbing someone that is just Daryl Morey-esque. He slides under the radar, picks somebody up, and maybe two people up. I know the PJ Tucker news has been surfacing. Larry Nance Jr., for example. Like, I know the name has been out there now, so it might not be out of the box, but Larry Nance Jr., when you first hear it, it's, hold on a second. And then when you see how he's been adapting his game and shooting better from deep, and he's more versatile for sure, and he's got years on his contract. When you think about him, that look, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, you would have never even brought up the name. And now Larry Nance Jr., it could be someone who can really help. Carmen says, coffee is meant to be drank black and hot. Just my opinion. I would tend to agree with you. Once in a blue moon, I'm okay for a change of pace. I'm not anti a little hazelnut here and there. I'm not anti just a splash of French vanilla here and there. Only when I go buy it. When I go to Wawa, I'll splash something in there. When I make it at home, though, it's black all the time. Mikey Davis thinks the Sixers will lose by 10 tonight. What, maybe a 6-7 point game, and then it goes to a fouling type of game where you got to constantly walk the floor. And okay, I could see something like that. Got the Flyers beanie and jacket on today. Need a big win from them tonight. I haven't stepped outside yet. I'm not going to lie to anybody, but is it jacket and beanie weather? Because the last couple of days, it's been so brutally nice. So brutally nice. That is such a terrible way to describe it. It's been fantastic. It's been amazing. It's been so nice. So that's why I went polo today, and I got some things to take care of a little later on. I hope it's not cold to the point where we got to go jacket and beanie, because I did not expect that when I woke up this morning. Flyers win and Nolan Patrick with a hattie. I don't think that's the case, man. I really don't. I don't see that happening at all. Ballsy move by Alain Vigneault, by the way, to throw him into that shootout. Ballsy move. But hey, some coaches know how to push the buttons the right way, and that was a button push. Now, does that ultimately mean that Nolan Patrick is now going to walk in and start shredding? Probably not. My guess would be no. But that was a button push out of AV. And it seemed like it worked. It seemed like he got exactly what he wanted out of Nolan Patrick, which was a beautiful bingo. Hey, Brodes, I love watching you in the morning as I get ready for school. At least I can be happy in the morning for one thing. No one likes school. Well, okay, I'm with you. No one likes school. But how about this, Philly Kid 406? If you add a nice cup of coffee to you getting ready in the morning, now you're only getting a little bit better. Now the morning's only getting a little bit stronger if you now throw a little cup of Joe into the mix. Do I think Toby has a big game? Well, considering he's going to be your go-to guy, I would imagine. How about this? Let's throw around. If you're the head coach, what would you do tonight? What would be your starting five without Ben and Joel? Because there's a couple different ways that you can go. I would slide Shake Milton into the starting rotation and go Shake, Danny, Seth, Tobias, and I wouldn't start Dwight Howard. I would start. You're going up against the Bulls. I'm thinking of the matchup because originally what comes to my mind would be Mike Scott, but I don't think Dwight Howard's the move. I don't think you can start him anymore. It's pretty clear. With Tony Bradley, I don't think that experiment works. What am I missing here for starting five in that five position? I think really Mike Scott is your move. So, okay, Mikey Davis says the same thing as me. He goes with Shake, Seth, Danny, Toby, Scott. But you could also do this. You could also throw in Tyrese Maxey. So then you can have Maxey, Seth, Danny, Toby, Mike Scott, have Shake Milton come off your bench as your sixth man, have Dwight Howard come off, and then those two are continuing to keep their roles. So there might be some that would like to throw Tyrese Maxey into the mix. But I would probably, and it looks like a couple people are saying the same thing into the chat, that it would be something along the lines of Milton, Seth, Danny, Toby, and Mike Scott. Probably would think the same thing for sure. Farzy Show comes in, baby. Everyone make sure you're watching the Mark Farzetta show, the Farzy Show. That's on YouTube, 6 a.m. and on his Twitter. Live streamed everywhere, really. Yeah, the Farzy Show is amazing. Do we see 2 wins tonight across the Sixers and the Flyers? The Flyers are playing the Capitals. I don't feel good about the Flyers. I think they're in a bad spot. I think this is just one of theirs. There's every team in a regular season have their ups and downs. I think with this Flyer squad, you are witnessing an up and down situation right now for the Fly guys. And yeah, they beat the Sabres. I'm just looking at the schedule that I have written down here. And when you look at it, they had a tough weekend. Lost to the Penguins. Lost to the Capitals. Beat the Sabres ugly. I think they're just not playing good hockey right now. Not playing good hockey. So I don't feel good about the Flyers. And I already said I don't feel good about the Sixers. So damn it, I think I see 2 losses. My gut feeling right now at 9:19 a.m. on Thursday morning as I'm drinking my cup of Joe, I think I'm leaning towards 2 losses tonight. And that's upsetting. I don't want to feel that way, but this is just the God's honest truth. This is the gut feel. I don't sit here and say they're going to win every game because, damn it, I don't think they do win every game. And quite frankly, I know they don't. So I'm feeling 2 losses. I don't like saying that, by the way. It doesn't make me happy. By the way, I'm going with this Pete's coffee again. Loving it. Loving the Pete's coffee. I know it's a standard brand, but I never really purchased a bag. I always go to the Wawa bags, the Starbucks bags, the Dunkin' Donuts bags, even the McDonald's bags of coffee. I went for Pete's. I'm loving it, man. I just got your normal mild roast, and it's very good. Very, very good. Someone literally just put Ferguson, Furcon, Matisse, Bradley, and Dwight. Could you imagine? Yeah, we got a couple people going with some funny lineups for sure. Have you watched this kid from Minnesota? Yeah, Kaprizov, he's disgusting. And if you're a big hockey fan, Christian, make sure you check out the latest edition of Open Ice Hits that just dropped this morning between myself and Kevin Durso. One of the topics were the Minnesota Wild and Kaprizov and what the Wild are doing along with some other teams. And we also discussed NHL and ESPN. So a fun little conversation around the hockey world today that dropped on Open Ice Hits, which is on my YouTube channel. And also they're on their own podcasting platforms. On all the podcasting platforms, it's its own podcast, Open Ice Hits. So make sure you check that out. If you type in Brodes Media, I've been listening in the pod. Don't worry, LOL. Well, there you go. Thank you so much. And since I'm on the pace here of just telling you guys about things, every Wednesday I do a Hump Day giveaway on my Twitter. And right now we are giving away a Bryce Harper t-shirt. So what you want to do to enter to win is head over to my Twitter @Brodes81 and go to my pinned tweet at the top of my profile. There's a pinned tweet that explains the rules. It's very simple. Retweet that tweet and follow me. And every week we have a Hump Day giveaway. And you will not want to miss out because we have some great, great things in the works for what's next as well. So, yeah, Bryce Harper t-shirt. Make sure you get yourself entered to win. You'll be kicking yourself in the teeth if you don't do it. Nasty Knuckles checks in. Another outstanding hockey pod, by the way. If you are a big Flyers fan, you want to go over to Nasty Knuckles pod. They get all these great guests on from the Flyers past, and they talk a little bit of, their career and some stories, hosted by Riley Cote and Nasty. They just have some great insight with the Flyers gang. So make sure you check that out. Phillies lineup today is looking like a projected starting lineup minus JT. Exactly. But minus JT, the one thing I thought about, you're right, Ruben, that's a great pickup out of you. The one thing that I think changes a lot, though, is where Alec Boehm hits. And JT, where is he going to hit? And what does that mean for Alec Boehm's position as Alec Boehm is hitting cleanup? But I agree with you. McCutchen, Reese, and I always sigh when I say that because I don't like him in the 2-hole. But McCutchen, Reese, Bryce, Boehm at 4. Would that change with JT in the lineup? Because I wanted McCutchen, Boehm, Bryce, Reese, Didi, JT, so you can get a little bounce back of righty, lefty, and get that through your lineup. But you still get that because you still get that with Didi after Boehm, right? So you still have that dynamic. But my point once again is bringing JT back into the mix. Now that changes things. So you will get it with Hoskins righty, Harper lefty, Boehm righty, Didi lefty, Segura righty, Odubel lefty. So you do get that, and then Knapp can do a little bit of everything, if you will. But I'm thinking about Boehm. All right, I'm intrigued by Boehm and where he's going to be in the lineup. Just call me Flair with the $5 donation. Tyrese Maxey's dropping 25 tonight. Well, we did have that opportunity to play a lot of minutes the one game, and he took a lot of shots, but he did drop a lot of points. I don't think that's going to be the same style of play. I don't think he's even going to start. I could be wrong, but I don't think he's going to start. I think it'll be Shake Milton. At least that would be how I would do it. I guess I can't rule anything off the table. If they want to continue to keep guys at a certain point and keep guys in a certain spot in the rotation, like a Dwight Howard, we know he's only on the bench unit. So, but yeah, I don't think that it's a Tyrese Maxey type of night. But I would love to be wrong. I would love for it to be a Tyrese Maxey type of night. Who's better, JT or Bryce? Oh, it's Bryce Harper. It's not even a serious question, right? I mean, JT Realmuto is the best in his position. His position is also very weak. I like JT Realmuto. He's a very good baseball player, but Bryce Harper is definitely an overall better player. I don't even think it's a discussion, quite frankly. Ain't no way they put JT in the 6 hole. But the thing is, if JT's in your 6 hole, think about how deep you are. Think about how deep you are if that's the case. I mean, it just shows you how the depth of the lineup is. Think about it with the Dodgers last year, right? Like, let's go to the Dodgers Rays Game 6 lineup. Just to kind of compare it. Cody Bellinger. Is this for real? Or is that just the I want to make sure this isn't a projected lineup. This is an actual lineup. As always, the two clubs announced their starting lineups a few hours before. Okay, so G-Man Choi, baby. I love it. Cody Bellinger batted 6 for the Dodgers last year in the Game 6 of the World Series. So my point is, yeah, you know what? Sure, you can bat JT Realmuto 6th if you have a lineup that supports that. Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, Justin Turner, Max Muncy, Will Smith, Cody Bellinger as their 6th. If Cody Bellinger is giving you 6th production in your lineup, it's not crazy to have JT Realmuto batting 6th if your lineup is that deep with Kutch, Reese, Bryce. They have it as Bohm, and then Didi, and then JT Realmuto. Like, it's not out of the question. It's not that asinine. If anything, it just shows you the depth of the team and how scary they can be if they're clicking. My thoughts on Odubel Herrera is if he wins out the job, he's going to play. Here's my assessment. They're going to give him every opportunity. I trust the Phillies organization to make the right morale decision, and they know more information than we do about it. If he is genuine about making such a significant change in his life, then okay. Do I see, hold on, we just got a $10 donation coming in. I'll get back to the other question. Cheers, brother. Hope you're having a good day. Pags with the $10 donation. Cheers to you, my friend. So far, so good. I woke up about an hour ago, hopped in the shower, played some Drake, played some Scary Hours too throughout my entire shower. Did a little rinse of the hair here, threw it up in the old Samurai, and here we are with my cup of coffee. So it's only been about an hour of the day, but hope you have a great day. See, I went for hope you're having a great day. That makes me now feel like an idiot. Thank you so much for the best wishes. I hope you have a great day as well. You're the best in the business. You know that, Pags? You're the best in the business. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. I wanted to get to this question here from Nasty Knuckles. Do you see JT as the catcher in 5 years? Move to first base? Do we adopt universal DH? Well, I think, yeah, the universal DH is eventually going to happen. I am a little shocked that they put it in play last year and then they didn't continue to move forward with it. Normally, when you see such a big rule change that has been debatable for so long, it happens. It's in the game and then it's stuck in the game. So I do think the universal DH is inevitable, though. So within a 5-year span, yeah, I do think that it's in play. So that will change some things for sure. And that changes what happened last year. You were able to have JT Realmuto in the lineup and have Andrew Knapp play. You're not going to have that luxury so much this season. Do I think he's going to catch all 5 seasons? Yeah, I do. I do think he's going to catch all 5 seasons. I do. Because you know what? As much as we talk about breaking down and getting older and all, there are some guys that just break that. And Yadier Molina is a guy that just continues to play no matter what happens. And there are guys that get older and they continue to play. Now, it might not be the same production. You might not have the same pop time. You might not have the same elite skill set defensively. You might just be an average catcher or just a good catcher. Right now, he's the best. But you might just be a good catcher by the time he's older in his career. But do I think he's going to be catching all 5? Yeah, you know what? I do think he's going to be catching all 5. I do. I do think he'll be catching all 5. You just might not be getting the same type of play and the same type of production all throughout. King Fields says, you're the best podcast on YouTube. Thank you, King Fields. I really appreciate that. Ruben says, hey, Brodes, what do you think about the NHL on ESPN? As I kind of alluded to a little bit earlier, I just did a podcast on that on Open Ice Hits, which is an NHL podcast between myself and Kevin Durso, who is a Flyers insider for 97.3 ESPN. So if you really want to dive deep into that conversation more with me, make sure you check out that pod that just uploaded this morning. I'm stoked, though, man. It's big. I think it's big for the game. No more OLN, the Outdoor Life Network. No more Versus. And I know NBC is obviously a step up over those, but I think it's big for the game because, look, the game needs to grow. It needs to be more on TV. It needs to be more of a casual watch. You need to be able to snag these games casually instead of, hey, there's a game on Paramount that's an NHL playoff game. That's embarrassing that the NHL ever had playoff games on USA, on Paramount, on some of these networks. You got to be able to reach more of this casual fan and to be able to be on these ESPN Plus services and to be able to be on these streaming services and watch all these out-of-market games. I think it's just big for the growth of it. And then all these reports about Gary Thorne and Bill Clement, maybe hopping back on, the nostalgia is real. And to hear the music, dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Now that might sound nothing close to the music in your eyes, but it sounded perfect in my brain, and I can't wait to hear that music again. It's just amazing. It gives me the goosebumps. Everything about it, it seems like they're going about like, hey, people want it. Let's give the people what they want. There's a fear, though. That we're all pumped for the nostalgia of Gary Thorne and Bill Clement, but maybe, like, Gary Thorne's 70-plus years old at this point. I don't want to get my expectations so high and for it to come crashing down because it's not as smooth as we anticipate. You know what I mean? So it's not just going to be the ESPN. It seems like there might be someone else in play, similar to when you watch Fox get some playoff baseball games, and then you also have TBS and that crew have it. A little concept like that. I would imagine it's something like that. Remember when Max Kellerman says no one in the U.S. likes hockey? Well, he's not wrong. Hockey is so not. It's just not cared about, man, Ethan. It really isn't. It's just not respected enough around here. So I don't even disagree with him. He's not wrong. People do not care about hockey in the United States. They don't. They do not care. They don't care enough. Hopefully this gets them back on track, though. S-Rock says, just got my NHL on ESPN ringtone ready. That's good. Dude, I might steal that. That's pretty damn funny. I might go with that same philosophy. Damn. Oh, man, do I want to play that right now, the NHL on ESPN ringtone, but I don't want anything to get flagged with a copyright or anything. But I would love to play that right now. Oh, man, would I love to play that right now. That's what I should have listened to. Now, shame on me, because what I should have listened to earlier this morning instead of Scary Hours 2 was a little bit of some NHL on ESPN music, just nonstop playing through the whole time. That's what I should have done. What's up, Amadeo? What's going on? What's up, Brodes? What is your dream trade for the Sixers? Yeah, I really don't have like a dream trade. I like the Kyle Lowry thing. The problem was you were giving up a lot of guys. Maybe like a Victor Oladipo, because that's like a nice addition. You might not have to give up as much. A LaMarcus Aldridge at this point is nice. I like a lot of different options. I wouldn't be mad with the PJ Tucker, George Hill combination. So you get two veteran players that can come off the bench and help you out with that bench unit. I don't really have like a set like dream. This is what I really want to see. I can see a lot. I can see a lot of different things. I have been paying attention to the Blue Coats. I know that they're on a ride, and I know that they're having some fun with it and all. But quite frankly, I haven't really had the time to dive down and be like, you know what, I'm watching the Blue Coats, even though I know they're playing good basketball, and maybe that's shame on me. As someone who grew up swimming, imagine my disappointment when I only got to watch my sport on TV once every 4 years. That's a good point, man, for sure. What do you see first happening in the near future? A hockey take on First Take or an NFL playoff game on the Oxygen Network? I don't even know what the Oxygen Network is. Is that even a thing? But I do think First Take, it's funny. You know how they have the debates about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and it's like, okay, Kellerman and Steven, that's all you got for us today? the Wayne Gretzky, Alexander Ovechkin comparisons. Oh, he's the best goal scorer of all time. How could you possibly say that? Look at what Wayne Gretzky did. Look, if you take away his goals, he's still leading this and that. It's like, oh, geez. I can only imagine what we're going to see out of the Wayne Gretzky, the greatest of all time hockey debates that you'll see on NHL Network now based off of the circumstances, which is kind of comical. I'm kind of interested to see it, but I couldn't say the last time I ever turned on First Take to hear one thing that those morons had to say. And moron, that's a little tough because I think that, look, I know it's just a shtick and they do what has to pay the bills. They don't mean what they say, but the show is moronic. That should be more like it. Well, those guys can't talk a lot of sports that they do. Outside of football and basketball, their baseball knowledge and all that. Like, come on, you're telling me they're breaking down some, and that's why, it's not like they talk about baseball that much, so that's fair. But yeah, I mean, it's really just basketball and football that I don't know, can they talk about? Kellerman's a boxing guy. How do I feel about the reports that the Eagles are shopping Brandon Brooks? I'm okay with it. You got a guy who's older and extremely banged up. Now, if he's healthy, he's arguably one of the best right guards in football, so he can play if he's healthy. But how many times are we going to start relying now over and over and over again on these older players? At some point, it's time to move on. You're in cap hell. You have some cap problems. And it's time to shred some salary and find a new way to retool this thing. So, yeah, I mean, look, all these players that you're emotionally tied to and feel great about, they have to, some of these players are going to have to go. You're going to have to go. And I kind of found it funny. I was listening to a little bit yesterday of the Michael Kay show up in New York, and they were talking about Gettleman of the New York Giants. Hold on a second. Let me just take a little sip of this coffee here. So, I was listening to the Michael Kay show, and one of the things that they were talking about was how Gettleman's an idiot, and he doesn't restructure any contracts like the good organizations, and like Howie Roseman does, like the Eagles do, like these organizations that always restructure and push things back. Yeah, they're like, what are the Giants doing? So it's funny when you go to another market and you hear them talk about the Eagles, you hear them talk about Howie Roseman, you hear them talk about the GM and the way that he's so successful for constantly pushing back money and understanding how this all works. It's like, hold on a second. You come to Philadelphia right now and listen to what people have to say about him, and it's night and day. But that's kind of what I've been saying. Howie Roseman's not as bad as what people say he is. I also think it's time for a new, fresh voice to change things up because he does have flaws that hurt him. But to make it seem like he's the worst general manager in the history of football and he's the dumbest human being ever in the history of football, there's a line. And people definitely do cross it. But I just thought it was so funny and so telling that here I am listening to Michael Kay shred Gettleman, as they should, and then praise someone like Howie Roseman for the ins and outs while we sit here and say that he's a moron for the cap hell that they're in, right? But there's a medium ground here. It's not like, oh, just because, like, they don't dive deep into the ins and outs of it, just like we don't. You're tied to your squad. You're tied to your city. So they look at it just from a Giants angle, but they don't put it in perspective of all the other things. They don't look at it from the drafting angle. They don't look at it from the other angle. They don't look at it from the full picture standpoint. They're just looking at it from a roster and contract structure standpoint, which matters. Now, we're seeing here that I don't see anything on my feed right now about Hargrave, but I'm sure if I look it up. Okay. Yep, they more restructures happened. This happened 30 minutes ago. Javon Hargrave restructured the contract, so they saved about $9 million. So just the ins and outs and working it kind of the way that we thought it was going to go down, just finding ways to create cap space. And this is just what they're going to do over and over and over and over and over again. This is going to be the common theme. Every time they're in cap space, they're going to constantly push guys off, and that's what they're going to do. So they're going to constantly do it. Yep, save 9.4. So I think we have to admit that maybe there was an overreaction to the cap hell that they were in. And I did it as well, but I think it's pretty clear to say that we might have overreacted on, and that's where you got to tip your cap to a guy that nobody likes in Howie Roseman and say the guy maneuvered out of this probably a little bit smoother than we all would have thought, right? So there is something to that. This guy restructured some contracts, moved some pieces around, gonna trade Zach Ertz, now looking into Brandon Brooks, moving around some guys, moving some money around, and bada boom, bada bing, we're going to be under the cap. Did we overreact? Did we get too aggressive with it? To be honest with you, Philly fraud, I don't know. I don't know anything about the signing and free agency because I don't know where they're going to be fully with the cap yet. They're going to be under the cap, but how much under the cap? And are they going to still be able to operate and make some moves, right? Like, I don't know because we don't know where they are specifically yet with the cap space. So we kind of need to wait and see how much. Well, they were, I think somewhere, I don't quote me, but I think it's somewhere around 10. Don't quote me, though, because I think I saw 20 before this Hargrave thing, and now this is about 9.4. But do not quote me on that. I am not 100% sure. But I did see somewhere around 20. How about this? I'll do this a little live, and I'll text Jeff Mosher, see what he says. See, the people are asking. The people are asking. And I figured I'd get the details. After the Hargrave signing, or restructure, I should say, how much over the cap are the Eagles now? All right, let's see. All right, let's see what Mo says. I think I think it's around 10, but I could be wrong. So we'll figure. We will get. Oh, we are getting the bubbles from Jeff Mosher. All right, let's see what he says. What is frustrating, Jack? What is frustrating? What are you frustrated about? Having to move on? Okay, he also does not know. Not positive yet. Haven't seen official numbers at this moment. So there are no official numbers out there for him. So he doesn't know 100%. But yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of all that's the problem. Everything's kind of like all over the place right now. And there's a little bit of some things to look into. $2 donation coming in from Jake Elliott. Besides Starbucks vanilla, any suggestions? Well, I know it's nothing fancy, but this Pete's mild blend that I got going on right now, the mild roast from Pete's, and it's P-E-E-T. Love it. Love it. I mean, this is good. Very solid. Pat, I got a little business to take care of today. So I had to go on the old collar shirt. All right, so most checks back in. It says probably around 14, 15-ish. So just ballparking in that range. So yeah, that's where we're at here. Pat says an actual shower. Who even is this? You're right. Look, that's 2 times this week. 2 times this week. Coffee with Brodes is at 9. There's a good portion that is, hey, I roll out of bed at 8:45. I throw on a snow hat. I still got on my sweatpants, pajama pants, shorts from the night before. We do Coffee with Brodes, and then at 10 o'clock, I hop in the shower after my after Coffee with Brodes. But there's other times where it's, hey, let's get ready for the day. Let's throw on the shirt. Let's do the hair a little bit. But yeah, you're right. But that's 2 times this week. So we're making some improvements in the world. Making some improvements in this world. Christopher Brown with a $2 donation. Doesn't say. Oh, there's a second thing here that comes in. Morning, Brodes. Afternoon in the UK. Are you okay with the Herrera back on the team? I think he has been punished. Is sorry and has been forgiven from his girlfriend. Also, not enough people talking about Kinstler. The Kinstler thing is very very exciting about what he can bring to the table from a field perspective. Yeah, the Odubel thing, thank you so much for the $2 donation, by the way. The Odubel thing is a common question and all, and I get it. And if you don't want to forgive him, I'm okay with you not wanting to forgive him. I understand if you want to shut him out forever and say, I don't think he deserves an opportunity. You are entitled to that opinion. The way I see it is, I know people in my life, and I know plenty of people out there that had life-changing scenarios happen to them, whether it's a drinking situation where maybe they got behind the car of a wheel of a, they got behind the car wheel and they hit a tree and they realized, holy shit, I could have done some damage to somebody else's life. I could have ruined my life. And it was a big wake-up call, and then they change their life forever. They never drink again, and they become clean for the rest of their life, and they become a great person, and all of that is behind them. That does happen. And I trust the Phillies organization to recognize if Odubel is on that type of track to change his life forever. I'm just using that as a scenario, a hypothetical to kind of describe the comparisons on how someone could change their life forever. And if Odubel has that type of mindset where, wow, what I did was so ugly, so hideous, so wrong, so demoralizing, so disgusting, I will never do that again. I will go to counseling all the time. I will change my life, and I will never, ever, 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 ever do that again. If the Phillies organization has seen that type of approach from Odubel Herrera, then my personal belief is he deserves the chance. And if he doesn't, then I don't believe he deserves the chance. That's how I see it, and I trust the organization's decision on doing that. So that is my thought on it, and that's where I'm at. If he absolutely thinks, and I'm talking about Joe Girardi and Dave Dombrowski here, if they 100% believe that he is on the right track and there is real life change involved, then he deserves that chance. And I don't think they do this without him giving those type of messages off. So we'll see. We'll see. But that's my thought on it. Do I think that Nolan Patrick will be used in a trade? Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think that people see him as a guy with upside. I think the time has ran out here in Philadelphia. And if you can acquire defense that will help out, then yes, I think that is the move. Nolan Patrick for sure. The way you put the questions and donos on the stream are actually sick. You have to show me how to do that. Yeah, definitely, dude. Just shoot me a text. I'll tell you what I use and all, and how I get that done. Definitely. Who wins that fifth rotation spot for the Phils? Well, I think off the bat it's going to be Chase Anderson. Unless you mean, is Chase Anderson not going to win it and then it's somebody else? I think of Matt Moore and Chase Anderson. One guy will hit, one guy won't hit. One guy will do well, one guy won't do well. And then maybe it's Spencer Howard's job from there. Maybe, just maybe. So starting off, I think it's going to be your traditional Nola, Wheeler, Eflin, and then it'll be Matt Moore and then Chase Anderson. From there, Spencer Howard's name. From there, I really hope the name Vince Velasquez never comes out of my mouth when we talk about starting pitching. But that is a name that I know the Phillies have tried 10,000 times. But yeah, Chase Anderson, Matt Moore, those are going to be your 4 or 5. One of them will hit, one of them won't. And whoever doesn't, maybe that's Spencer Howard who slides into that fifth spot. $2 donation coming in from Jake Elliott. Went to Sheets for the first time. Sheets or Wawa. I haven't been to Sheets in probably like 5 or 6 years. So I'm very biased and I will say Wawa. But I don't know. I don't know the upgrades at Sheets. You know, people say that Wawa's changed when you think about the bread, their selection. Like, it's not the same Wawa that you've seen. And I don't know if it's for the better. There's more variety, but is the quality of food better? Probably not. So I don't know what Sheets is even like these days. But my bias will tell you 100% that we are Wawa's the best, and it's the best. Yes, Paul. The Phillies do play today at 1 o'clock. And yes, I do use StreamYard. Brodes, hear this. Phillies baseball at 1. G League finals at 4:30. Flyers at 7. Sixers at 8. Wait, so to be honest with you, and I know this is probably shame on me with the whole G League thing, but are they in the G League? Is that one? What is is it a series? How many games do they play for the series? And this is the finals. They're in the actual finals, and it's at 4:30 in the afternoon. Give me a little information here. I know I should know. And I know it's shame on me for not watching, but I'm watching Jersey Shore right now. I'm in Jersey Shore mode. I don't have a lot of opportunities without a Flyers Sixers game. So when I do, I kick back and I tone out of sports for a night or so. I hang out with the fiance. And, we watch some other, like, if there's no Flyers, Sixers, and it's a night where there's nothing, and that happened twice this past week, I got to make the most of that opportunity, so I'm probably not watching G League basketball. I need to, I got to fit my time in. It's one game on at 4:30. Isn't that a problem, though? Isn't that a problem that it's a one-game NBA final or G League final? To me, that's crazy. Tam at Brodes, I have to leave for dunking because I can't watch you drink coffee without needing coffee myself. That's the type of effect this show has. That's the point of the show. Get your coffee addiction going. I want the people to be addicted. My favorite thing about this show is I have an after show with myself where I drink coffee. I have an after show coffee. Now, what I'm thinking is, do I now start live streaming the after show? Do I do the after show of Coffee with Brodes with my coffee? So Coffee with Brodes now has an after show of Coffee with Brodes where I drink my coffee. How about that? Stupid? Moronic? Some would say. Some would say. Yeah, I know they're playing in a bubble. I do know that. No, I don't think the Sixers win undermanned. I do not. I do not. I do not. Pat, are you still in Maryland? Or am I crazy? I apologize if you're not, and I should have known that, but are you still in Maryland? Okay. You said maybe when I get an invite sometime, I'm like, are you around here? And you fucking, I didn't know if you were like around town and, had an opportunity to come chill or whatever. Still in Towson. Okay, cool. Yeah, dude, definitely hit me up, man. We got to catch up for sure. No, I'm not streaming the Phillies today. I actually have, I have something to do around noon. And I have to see what that means for me and the Phillies today, unfortunately. But I'm going to DVR the hell out of it and watch it after if I do have to miss it, which sucks. It definitely sucks. But I got some business to take care of at noon. So, yeah, it's such a good lineup today. Such a good guy on the bump. Kind of a little disappointed. I can't check it out, but it is what it is. It's just spring training. But yeah, I'll DVR the game. I'll go back and watch it. Go back and watch Nola. Go back and watch certain at bats. No doubt about it. And look, if I can't catch you fully live, you think I'm going to be missing spring training? There's no doubt about it. I'm already at the point now where I'm locking and loading in on some spring training podcasts more efficiently. It's time to really dive into some talk. You know what I mean? It's time to start diving into baseball talk heavily. A lineup like this, I can't miss it. Oh, you just bought a house in Western PA. Nice, dude. Nice. Congratulations. Yeah, definitely, dude. Me, you, Eric, get together, have some cold ones, right? Have a couple cold ones, talk about the NHL. I don't know, just spitballing. This is good. Brodes, the after show. Coffee with vodka. Now, I did think of it. My buddy hit me up when I was doing Coffee with Brodes, right? And for the first time, and I did it a couple of times, like, dude, you know what you should do? Beers with Brodes. So when we watch the games late at night or whatever, now it's beers with Brodes. The problem is I start to have too many beers. Now beers with Brodes gets too long. Now we're too banged up. How do I wake up for Coffee with Brodes? Because I hate to admit this, but I used to go full throttle, 3 a.m. life, shotgunning beers nonstop, partying. And then I hit a wall around, look, I'm 25 now. I'll be honest with you, around 22. I went from that to I'm 90 years old and 3 beers, my hangover makes me shiver. I went to, it's crazy the transition my body had from I could drink till 3 a.m. and start drinking the next morning at 11 a.m. to get going again and rally into. I went and had 4 IPAs at a brewery. Woke up the next day so hungover, I had to lay naked on my basement floor because it was so cold. It felt good because I was shivering. I mean, the hangovers are just insane. Insane. It's nuts. I don't get it, man. But beers with Brodes, my problem is if I start beers with Brodes, now I'm up till God knows when after a game, and now I'm hungover for the morning. I can't have my coffee with Brodes, and it's one big problem, man. One big problem. But Pat, I was a jagoff in high school when it came to baseball. Hated it. Didn't appreciate it. I mean, I played the game before that in my life, but I hated the baseball kids in high school more so. I'll throw this up on the screen because Pat and I went to the same high school, and Yeah, back in the day, dude, I hated. I would chirp the baseball kids, call them losers, rip them apart, shred them into pieces. Baseball's stupid. I ripped them into pieces. Now it's like one of my favorite sports ever. It's just kind of funny how that comes around, right? I guess it's only ironic that that's how it happens. Jake with a $2 donation. What state are you from? Guess is from Jersey. Yes, I am from South Jersey. I am. So I'm right over the bridge, about 20 minutes or so from the Walt Whitman Bridge. Takes me to get to the stadiums about 20 minutes. So not too far out from Philadelphia. But thank you so much for the $2 donation. I do remember the drinking Brodes. What a guy. Yep. Snapchats and drinking Millers in the shower. Yeah, dude. It's crazy to think about where I am now with the boozing lifestyle compared to where I was back in my prime, if you will. There were some when I was playing junior up in Boston, we had practice 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., which sucks. We would go out until 2 a.m. every single day. I don't know how. I couldn't even imagine skating then on 6 hours of sleep after nights out like that. But goddamn. Do I smoke weed? Well, there's... Just looking in my drawer. That's all. Just looking in my drawer. Oh, yeah, the shower beers and shittier beer snaps. I forgot about those. What do you mean the shittier beer snaps? What's the shittier beer snaps? What is that? I don't remember my shittier beer snaps. Everyone's getting released. Yeah, because people have to fit under the cap. You got to remember, this is why everyone's getting released. Because the cap, because of COVID, had some issues. Like, one of the reasons why the Eagles are in the situation that they are to get it back on. On the show. All right, we're done talking about my crazy days back in the day. We're at Sports Talk with Brodes, Coffee with Brodes, right? Where were we? Oh, yeah, because the cap space with COVID-19 and everything in play there, the cap space lowered, and that the max cap put you in a problem. The ceiling of the cap put you in this problem where you are now in even a worse spot. So, yeah, a lot of these teams are dealing with these issues because of COVID-19 messing up the cap and where everybody is. What do you think are the most overrated and most underrated sport? I don't think there's anything wrong. There's nothing overrated and nothing underrated about sports. I think that there is so much beauty in every sport. There is so much greatness in every sport. That's why when people are like, I don't like baseball, well, then you don't appreciate baseball. You can't do it with, it's a thinking man's game. If you just wait and sit there and watch and be like, oh, I can't wait for someone to hit the ball, well, you're not experiencing baseball the right way. It's a timeless game. It's a game where you sit back, relax, and enjoy. You don't worry about, oh, the pitcher has to take long. They take too long. Shut up. You don't love baseball. They went 1-2 count, outside corner with the changeup. What are they going to throw now? This guy has an electric fastball, but he's got a hell of a curve. Is he going to use that curve on the 1-2 pitch? Is he going to try and go upper in the zone with some cheese? Like, it's a thinking man's game where you need to appreciate that to fully understand where they are in the thinking process of it. You got to understand that aspect. Stoned with Brodes. Look, we got beers with Brodes on the table. We got stoned with Brodes on the table. There's a lot of options on the table, for sure. The soap and switch. Jesus Christ. It's incredible, man. It's incredible. Got a favorite beer? Yeah, I do. So, look, if we're talking shitty beers, and thank you so much, Jake, by the way, for the $2 donation. I really appreciate it. If we're talking out of the shitty group, which is Miller, Bud, Coors, like a standard, hey, one of those beers, I love Miller. I'm a Miller guy. I thoroughly enjoy Miller. Now, I like a Coors. I like a Bud. Like, I'm not anti. I'll drink any of those beers. Bud's starting to get to me where I'm like, not so much. But Miller for sure, Coors after that. But if we're going to start diving into some of the more, I'm not going to say sophisticated beers, but I love a ton of IPAs. I'm that guy that goes into a random place. Yeah, give me that IPA. Give me this IPA. I love to try all of it. But if we're going with like a 6-pack of a nice beer, I love a good Yards Pale Ale. A standard Yards Pale Ale. It's good. It's not too hoppy. It's a good level of hoppy. It's very solid. Like, that is a good beer for me. If I want to kick back and just watch a game and I'm not going with one of the shitty selections, a good 6-pack of Yards Pale Ale will do it for me. It's definitely one of my best. Golf is not dumb. Golf is definitely not dumb. See, that's where you're just not appreciating the game. Now, NASCAR, it's not dumb. It's just not for me. There's a difference. It's not a dumb sport. I don't personally love it, but it doesn't make it dumb. A Brodes IPA, that would be great, right? I haven't had the Kevin Hayes IPA. What's it called? Like the hazy IPA. I haven't had that, to be honest. But look, fun conversation today to get in on some beer talk. That was fun. Did not anticipate it going that way. But I do know that it's 10 o'clock here. And I do know that I do need to end the stream here. So I want to thank everybody for the donations. Thank everybody for hanging out today, where we are just, look, we kick back. We have our coffee. I love it. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. A lot to react to as well, because we will have Phillies. We will have Sixers. We will have Flyers all on the table for tomorrow's reaction. So tomorrow morning will be some fun. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out, and I'll see you then.